Why did you click on this video? Are you perhaps putting something else off right now? Don't worry, you're not alone. And more importantly, you are not lazy. Procrastination is one of the most common human experiences, yet it's so deeply misunderstood. We're often told it's a failure of time management or a simple lack of discipline. But what if I told you that's all wrong? The real reason you procrastinate has very little to do with managing your time and everything to do with managing your emotions. For decades, we've tried to solve procrastination with to-do lists, calendars, and productivity apps. And for many of us, they just don't work. That's because we're treating the symptom, not the cause. Dr. Tim Pychyl, a leading researcher on procrastination, defines it as the voluntary delay of an intended action, despite knowing you'll be worse off for the delay. The key word there is voluntary. We choose to do it. But why? The answer lies in a battle raging inside your brain. On one side, you have your limbic system. This is one of the oldest, most primitive parts of your brain. It's your emotional core, responsible for that fight or flight response, and it operates on the pleasure principle. It wants immediate gratification and wants to avoid pain at all costs. When you face a task that makes you feel anxious, bored, insecure, or even resentful, your limbic system screams, "Abort mission. Let's go watch cat videos instead." On the other side, you have your prefrontal cortex. This is the more recently evolved, sophisticated part of your brain, right behind your forehead. It's your inner CEO, responsible for planning, decision-making, and regulating your behavior for long-term goals. Your prefrontal cortex knows you should do the task. It understands the future consequences of not doing it. So when you procrastinate, your emotional brain, the limbic system, is winning the battle over your rational brain, the prefrontal cortex. The negative feeling associated with the task is the trigger. Maybe the task is difficult and you're afraid of failing. Maybe it's just boring and you're dreading the monotony. Whatever that negative emotion is, your brain's immediate impulse is to make that feeling go away. And the easiest way to do that is to avoid the task that's causing it. Procrastination is, therefore, a mood regulation strategy. It's an unhealthy one for sure, but it is a strategy. You get a temporary hit of relief by putting off the discomfort. But this creates a vicious cycle. You face a task. You feel negative emotions. You procrastinate to get short-term relief, but that relief is fleeting. Soon, it's replaced by guilt, shame, and increased anxiety as the deadline looms closer. This makes the task seem even more daunting and makes you even more likely to procrastinate again. It's a self-perpetuating loop of avoidance and stress. So, if traditional time management isn't the answer, what is? The solution is to develop better emotional regulation skills. It's about learning to sit with that discomfort without immediately running away. First, practice self-compassion. Beating yourself up for procrastinating only adds more negative emotions to the pile, making the problem worse. Forgive yourself for past delays and recognize that this is a common human struggle, not some personal character flaw. Second, reframe the task. Instead of focusing on the negative aspects, find a way to connect it to your values and goals. Why is this task important to you in the long run? Finding that personal meaning can completely change your emotional response to it. Another powerful technique is to simply get started. Just commit to working on the task for 2 or 5 minutes. This is often called the 2-minute rule. The initial friction is always the hardest part. Once you start, the task often feels way less intimidating, and your prefrontal cortex starts to gain momentum. Finally, manage your environment to manage your emotions. If you get distracted by your phone, put it in another room. If you feel anxious, try a few minutes of deep breathing before you begin. By lowering the emotional barrier to entry, you make it so much easier for your rational brain to take the wheel. So the next time you find yourself about to put something off, just pause. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What is this task triggering in me? By acknowledging the emotion instead of avoiding it, you take the very first step toward breaking the cycle. Procrastination isn't a sign that you're broken. It's a sign that you're human. And by understanding the real reason behind it, you can finally start to take back control. Thanks for watching.